Are people the worst thing they've ever done? Think about the worst thing you've ever done. Is that who you are? Or did you change? Have you redeemed yourself? I am of the belief that people can and do change, and they deserve second chances, unless you're a child predator. In that case, you belong under the jail. You sick son of a bitch. Anywho, I'm talking about the movie The Drama, starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. This movie is about a young couple named Emma and Charlie, who are super in love and planning their wedding. Then one night, they stumble upon their wedding DJ, who's hanging out in the corner, minding her own business and casually shooting some heroin. Emma and Charlie are like, OMG, our flabbers are gasted. Should we fire her? Their married friends, Mike and Ashley, are like, just because she's doing something terrible does not mean she's a terrible person. Haven't you ever done anything terrible? So the four of them proceed to tell each other the worst thing they've ever done. And to me, they're all some doozies. Like, this is a room filled with horrible people. But Emma's thing, hers takes the cake. This bitch done planned a whole mass shooting when she was in high school. Like, she wasn't just having bad thoughts. She planned the shooting, practiced the shooting, dressed up for the shooting, had her little war paint on and everything. She had a list of people she wanted to kill. Like, Sarah from Homeroom, bitch, you dying first. But when she heard that a shooting had taken place at a nearby mall, killing one of her classmates, she decided not to go through with it. Of course, the friend group was horrified. Charlie became incapable of even seeing his fiancée without imagining a rifle. So the question became, should they still get married? Would you do it? Would I do it? Let's get into it. What is my history with this movie? I saw this movie super recently because it just came out. Originally, I didn't want anything to do with this movie because it looked like a cute little rom-com. I enjoy a rom-com here and there, but it's not something I usually pay to see in the movie theater. Rom-coms are for quiet nights at home when there's absolutely nothing else to stream on Netflix. So I had no interest in the drama. Then I started seeing the movie trending on social media, and people were like, the drama is not what you think it is. And I love some shit that's not what you think it is. Except for an oatmeal raisin cookie that you think is chocolate chip. The deception. Anyway, I had to see it. Normally, I have very specific things I like to talk about when it comes to movies. Favorite part, favorite character, least favorite character, blah, blah, blah. But this movie is way too complex for such a simple formula. So I'm just gonna dive right into all the crazy shit about this movie. First, Emma as a character is just, I don't know what to make of her. And I think they did that on purpose. Normally, when you think of a school shooting, you have an image of the perpetrator in your mind. It's typically a goth looking teenager white guy. Emma is clearly a mixed girl. Her dad is black. I don't want to sound racist or anything, but this is just facts. Girls are not typically committing mass murder. Black girls are damn sure not typically committing mass murder. About 98% of mass shootings are committed by men. So to have that be Emma's story is beyond comprehension for a lot of people. And I feel like the writers did this on purpose to create a sense of disbelief. It is easier for us to sympathize with this character when it's something we highly doubt they're capable of doing. When I watched this movie, I didn't believe for 1 second that Emma was ever really going to shoot up that school. Is it because Emma is black and so am I? Maybe. Is it because Emma is a woman and so am I? For sure. But also, it's more than that. Let's get into the other characters' confessions. Because what in the entire fuck? Mike said he was almost viciously attacked by a dog. So he used another person as a human shield so they could be attacked instead. That's a bitch move, Santa. However, I'm gonna give him a little grace because you never know what you might do in a life or death situation. This nigga Charlie said that he cyberbullied somebody to the point where they moved away. But them moving could have been a big coinky dink and not the result of them being bullied. First of all, Charlie, please. That ain't no damn coinky dink. The bullying was too much. They had to escape. You're a fucking monster. Or he made it all up. It did kind of sound like maybe he never did anything terrible and he made up something based on stories he's probably heard a billion times so that he could fit in with his psychopath friends. And I feel like that's a pretty bad trait too. Like, do you want to be with somebody that would make up something terrible just to fit in with terrible people? Because he's afraid to be perceived as not terrible, or in this case, different? Or do you want somebody that's not scared to stand alone on business? Then we have Rachel. This woman is the true villain of this movie. She said that she lured an innocent kid to some random condemned cabin, and for absolutely no reason other than she felt compelled to do so, she shoved the boy in the closet and locked it. He immediately started screaming, and rightfully so, because we don't know what kind of ghosts and demons is in this closet. What does Rachel do? She leaves him there. The next day, she realizes the boy is missing. There is a search party for him, and she said nothing because she didn't want to get in trouble. This bitch could have left an anonymous tip or something. And when they asked her if she would have eventually told somebody, she said it doesn't matter because they found the boy. Like, If kids go missing in Rachel's neighborhood, check her basement. She gives witch to me. Like she does spells on innocent people just because she doesn't like them, but she doesn't think of them as spells. She doesn't think she's a witch, and she doesn't think she's evil. She's probably a Republican who fat shames children. Not Rachel, Charlie, or Mike expressed any remorse for the terrible things they actually did. So we have no proof that they changed and that they're not still terrible people. Emma, on the other hand, buried her father's gun, the gun she was going to use to shoot up her school. She's partially deaf in one ear from practicing shooting the gun in the woods, so she will carry the consequences of her actions for the rest of her life. And she becomes a very public member of the anti gun movement. She has been trying to redeem herself for something she didn't even do for years. Meanwhile, these horrible psychopath bastards are judging the fuck out of her. Charlie was so torn up about the situation that he came like this close to having sex with his coworker, who was in a relationship. And she had just admitted that the worst thing she had ever done was cheat on a past boyfriend. And just like that, she was about to do it again, proving that she in fact had not changed and she was still what she considered to be a terrible person. Now, I get that school shootings are a terrible thing because people, mainly children, die from them. However, I'm finding it extremely hard to separate Emma from Zendaya, and that plays another big part in why I don't think what Emma did or planned to do was the worst thing in the world. Because when I look at Emma, I don't see some lost, confused, angry military brat. I see the fashion icon Zendaya, Spider-Man's wife Zendaya, sweet but damaged Rue, played by Zendaya. And I don't know if that's just me or bad casting. Maybe they needed a less famous person to play this role, or maybe this is exactly the reaction the writers and directors wanted me to have. Unfortunately, we won't know for some time because this movie just came out, so there's no interviews or articles from the makers of this movie that dives into his intentions. Right now, we kind of have to create our own narrative and key takeaways. In my narrative, Emma was never going to shoot up her school. What did I take away from this movie? Take things to the grave. Emma was completely alone when she planned the shooting, so no one would have known about it if she never said anything. I am a strong advocate of letting some things die with you. And she actually did plan on taking it to the grave, but she got drunk and the secret came out. For me, there's not enough alcohol in the world to bring out some shit that I don't want people to know. But maybe Emma was a lightweight, or maybe this thing was still eating her up inside, to the point where it's sitting at the forefront of her mind, just begging to come out. And if that's the case, isn't that a sign of remorse? A sign of mental anguish? A sign that she's not a terrible person? Favorite part of this movie? When Emma was trying to record her farewell message on her computer, but she kept getting interrupted by notifications and whatever else pops up. A sign that her plan was unserious and never going to happen. Favorite character? Rachel. Because this bitch was the most judgmental, evil person I've seen on the screen in a while. The perfect villain that's not supposed to be a villain. I want more information on her. What's her story? How many animals did she torture? She seems like she makes her husband do the bending, if you know what I mean. Least favorite character? Charlie. Because stop being a little bitch. Stop telling lies. And stop listening to those scumbags that you call friends. Other least favorite character? Mike. The way he just dismissed Charlie's confession of bullying and chalked it up to him just being young and dumb was disgusting. My 6-year-old son knows it's wrong to bully people. The way he blindly defends Charlie made me sick. A true coon. He makes Brian Gumble look like Malcolm X. What would I change about this movie? Zendaya. I love her, but you can't convince me that she was ever going to shoot up a school. Maybe they cast her to bring in more money, or maybe this is exactly how they want people to feel. I don't know. Interesting facts: Zendaya and Robert Pattinson will be reuniting to star in The Odyssey and Dune Part 3. Two movies that I have zero interest in, but I might watch them anyway. Who knows what the future holds? Let's get a little more interested in that. Let's look at some social media posts about this movie. Somebody on Threads said, "The drama was the worst movie I've seen in a while. I almost walked out of the theater 3 times, starting with the dinner sharing scene. This movie is for white people. Written by white people, white humor, peak Karenism. OMG, it was so fucking bad." I agree. This movie is very far removed from black culture, but that doesn't make it a bad movie. Narrow-minded much? Another post from Jalen Blatt said, "The film explores empathy in the same way it's played out in real life. A black woman is denied empathy and understanding from hypocritical white people and complicit black men and spends the film trying to plead for her humanity when the very people she's pleading to are actively hurting her. But if she snaps, she'll validate the villain they already paint her out to be. Even when arguably her most important day is ruined by said people, she chooses to have empathy. A point so good, we can end this on that." Would I watch the drama again? Maybe like one more time to see if there's anything I missed about Emma. Any clues about whether or not she would have actually gone through with the shooting? Other than that, probably not. Because it's a good movie that sparks discussion, but it's not exactly a good time to watch. No one is having fun in this movie, except for maybe the DJ that was on the corner shooting heroin. All right, folks, it's time to wrap this up. Until next time, make sure you visit your family and friends, the non-toxic ones. Have good times with them. Connect with them on personal and spiritual levels. If you don't have friends, please try to make some. Lonely minds make for dangerous thoughts. And if you have a secret that you don't ever want to get out and it's not eating you up inside to keep it, tell no one. Tell no one. Tell no one. Tell no one. And I mean no one. Because whoever you tell that you trust will tell at least one other person that they trust. And at that point, it ain't a secret no more. Be safe, ask the important questions, and most importantly, keep tuning in. Bye.
All right, so before we got married, we did this thing where we said the worst thing we've ever done.
Okay,
Are you serious?
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna order an Uber.
Emma, what the fuck?